to episode 9 of the Ed Factor.
Today we're going to have a deep dive into
Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time. Following on from last week's episode of Life After Death, when the World Slavery Tour finished, the band, I think that's a good place to start this off with.
Absolutely,
yeah?
Yep. I think we need to get the groundwork done.
Yeah.
The foundations.
Absolutely. So World Slavery Tour finishes and the band have a break.
Yeah, well, I think they needed a break.
A well-earned break.
To be honest with you, I think it was a legend, not basically metal legend, that they were all pretty fried.
Pretty burnt out. The World Slavery Tour, if you've watched our last episode, if you haven't, go check it out there. On Life After Death was a massive tour, 13 months, nearly 190 shows.
Yep.
Complete burnout, especially for Bruce, and that is a big bearing on this episode. So,
yeah, it is. It's a massive. I was actually doing the research. A massive shock to me.
Yeah, some of the stuff.
Yep.
So, World Slavery Tour ends on the 5th of July, 1985, and the band pretty much get the rest of the year off.
Yeah,
so it's the first holiday they've had.
Thank you, Mr. Smallwood.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Smallwood.
First time since ever.
Well, since ever that they've had a break. A pretty relentless 5 years, you know.
Yeah, well, you have 5 albums, 6 albums. I can't even remember.
So yeah, well, 5
an album a year,
5 studio albums and a live album in that period of time.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
absolutely
you
crazy. You couldn't do it now. Yeah,
you couldn't do it now. And they're mammoth tours, like.
Oh, aye, absolutely.
So anyway, they have a break. Some of them do different things.
Some
during
fishing.
Their break.
A wee bit of fishing.
Bit of fishing, perhaps.
Bit of golf.
Adrian. I know that Neko spent time with the family.
Yeah.
Got to know his son again, as he said, which is difficult when you're on the road.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So it was good to spend time with the family. And Bruce took himself off to a fencing kind of monastery type
I
thing.
think sort of fencing odyssey, I think you could probably describe it as being.
Yep.
Reenacting the duelists, maybe, or
Reenacting the
bit of
duelists.
flash of the blade.
Yeah. I think Bruce.
But he's he did become, was it number 6 in the UK or something?
He gets really heavily into it at this point. He's already into it, but I think at this juncture, he really throws himself into that, and I think Bruce is struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there was evidence of that obviously before.
Yeah.
We talked about the Life After Death. I'm throwing Eddie, I think, away as a big thing. At 46 minutes in the DVD.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it.
Yeah.
I definitely think he has had a very difficult time. Obviously, physically, he was a wreck by the end of the.
And mentally.
Yeah, and mentally.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, the band then I think reconvene the start of '86.
Yep. They're in Jersey again, isn't that right?
They go to Jersey again. Yep. And I don't know what you found out about this, Chris. Again, we don't chat during the week about what we're going to talk about. So we do our research. We do our research independently, and I literally arrived 2 minutes before we've put this on. So, I found footage of Steve saying that they usually did the Jersey thing for 6 weeks.
That's right.
But for Somewhere in Time, we decided, well, we usually piss about for 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll just go for 4 weeks this time, and that we got straight down to writing.
Yeah. Well,
however, on another interview, which may be the history part 3, he says something different.
It's 2 weeks, doesn't he?
He says, well, we won't go for 6 weeks and we pissed around for 3 or 4 weeks. So it just kind of shows you maybe the pitfalls of oral history and the human mind and the human memory there. So it's always hard to tell exactly what happened.
Yeah, definitely it does. There's obviously some license here regarding time and memory.
Yeah.
And how many cans of beer you've drank.
And how many pints of bitter you've had. Yeah.
Strawberry daiquiris if you're.
What is it? A pint of
Pint of Ruddles.
Pint of Ruddles,
Yeah.
that's the stuff you always say. Is that an Irish drink?
Yeah,
Pint
yeah,
of
apparently.
Ruddles.
So that's what they all have cans of, yeah.
And
Ruddles better.
but Bruce is on strawberry daiquiris or
Or
something.
banana daiquiris or
Banana
something, whatever
daiquiris,
the hot
something
and
like
point. But yeah, I
So-
find it, you know, I don't know about you, but I find it quite difficult to find out information about this particular album.
Well, I had a couple of different sources. I did get information. I found a very interesting interview or series of interviews with the band in 1986.
Right.
Okay. Video interviews. I watched 12 Wasted Years, which is an official
Yeah, I
release.
watched it too, yeah. Mhm.
And yeah, thinking that, well, this is somewhere in time era, but actually all it is really
It's
a
It's
retrospective.
a recap. Yeah.
It's a recap of the history
It's
of the
very
band up
good,
to that
actually,
point.
though.
It's good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't talk about somewhere in time
No.
at all.
No, it doesn't.
I did also find an interview with Bruce in perhaps a German or Dutch metal magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because it was obviously before all his songs were rejected,
Right.
because he said he had one or two songs on the album.
Ooh.
One song, I think he said. I've one song, Adrian has a few songs, and the rest is Steve's.
No.
Now, as we will,
As the record shows.
yeah, Bruce has no songs on Somewhere in
Mhm.
Time. So that was interesting. They were
Yeah.
still making the record
Uh-huh.
when, or about to go.
Aye,
and
they
make
must
the
have been
record.
about to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So it must have been early in the process.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a strange kind of interview. But anyway, so yeah, it was kind of difficult to find some info about this. I think there's a couple of things that we could either kind of talk about what's notable about the album first.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, I'm easy.
and
Go
then-
with the flow.
and then maybe talk about Bruce,
Yeah, okay.
because
Yeah.
I think that's
I think we have to go back and touch on that before we start getting into the tunes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
So somewhere in Time was released on the 29th of September 1986, which is actually after Somewhere on Tour starts.
There you go.
So
Mm-hmm.
Rod may have given the band a break, but he had them out in the bloody road before the album was even out. It was one of those
Where there
again.
was any product to shift.
Yep, they were out on the 10th of September.
Uh-huh.
And the tour lasted until the 5th of November.
Uh-huh.
1987. So, with 151 shows.
Short for a maiden tour.
Now, that's about 30 shows less than the World
Yeah.
Slavery Tour.
Yeah.
But time-wise,
It's summer.
it's almost
You don't know,
or
the same.
longer.
Well, you're talking September and November. Yeah,
It's 14 months.
13, 14 months, yeah. Uh-huh.
And
But
there
they had
was-
more gaps, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference. There's
Big
less
gaps.
shows. There's
Yeah,
151 shows. Plus, I think the whole of October 86 is in the UK.
Yeah.
They play small venues all across the UK. They do
Yeah.
loads of nights in
Mhm.
London. It's a massive UK tour, which I suppose it means the band are home for a month. And
Yeah.
that maybe, I know the gloss is put on it that the band wanted to stay close to the fans and they didn't want to play big arenas. And maybe that's true, but I'm sure an added bonus was that they were home,
Yeah, they could go home. Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe didn't feel like they were out on the road quite
helping
as
that
much.
mental health sort of side of things. Obviously, that was so not there, not the
So
case
not
in the first,
not the case,
in the
yeah.
in the tour before.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Running time is 51 minutes, 18 seconds. So it's almost exactly the same length as Power Slave.
Yeah.
Only 6 seconds difference.
Mhm.
It's recorded at Compass Point, but it's also recorded at the Whistle Lord Studios in the Netherlands. Yeah. So bass and drums are recorded in the Bahamas.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And because of guitar tones,
Yes.
they decide to decamp to the Netherlands.
Yeah. Which is there's this other
Other, what was it? Dave Murray says is an interesting city. To live or something.
Yeah, you know,
they live in Amsterdam.
always positive.
Yeah,
Never gives away too much. I'd hate to play cards against Dave Murray.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But Adrian says it's great. It was a great studio. You know,
Yeah. It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Just a fact.
Good fishing.
Out in the middle of nowhere, windmills, dikes, and it was a great studio. But none of the rest of the band wanted to stay there, so we ended up staying in Amsterdam. It sounded to me like Adrian wouldn't have minded one bit staying out beside the studio.
Well, he did have a new toy to play with.
What was that?
A Roland guitar synth.
A Roland guitar synth is right. Which brings us on nicely to the notable points about this album. So there are some things that set this album aside from their previous efforts.
Absolutely.
And one, as Chris has just mentioned, is guitar synths.
Yep.
The band used guitar synths.
Given a kick up the 80s.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Dave, Adrian and Steve all experiment with the Roland guitar synths. No keyboards. Very important to know.
So everything you hear in the album that you think is a keyboard isn't.
It's a guitar
synth.
It's
a guitar.
Yeah.
With an effect.
Yeah.
Board basically that makes it sound like a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah, it was very innovative at the time.
Yeah.
Could also be completely unpredictable from what I have understood.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
And Adrian's on record saying that as well.
Yeah.
The early ones were really.
And one of the things I suppose you have to sort of think about it is when you listen to the album intently and you listen out for the synthesizer parts, they're not what we would be used to nowadays with the synth part Senjutsu for one. You know, totally different, but obviously of its time, and definitely gives a different flavor.
So what
we're going to be into.
Just to unpack that a little bit, what do you mean by it being different from the parts? Is there
the difference between Senjutsu and Say It One More Time?
You're saying the keyboard parts are...
They definitely sound more...
Keyboard parts are different.
Let's see, how could I give this in a similar analogy?
Is it because they're coming from a guitarist?
No, I just think the technology.
You mean
the tech
sonically they sound it sounds different.
It does sound different, totally different.
It does sound different. I think you can hear vibrato.
Yeah.
It's one of the things you can hear that you go, oh, that is a guitar.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I used to go, what is a guitar synth?
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what it was when I was a kid, and there was no Google back then.
It sounds like something from the space age anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lucky maybe happenstance that this is a futuristic looking album with a futuristic looking sound recorded with futuristic instruments.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, it's all about the future.
It all works.
Yeah,
in that sense, it all kind
future
of
stew.
So yeah, guitar synths adds a different texture.
Absolutely.
To the band that they didn't have before, and it certainly works for this album with the future theme.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about the recording of the guitars. The mixing of the album was done at Electric Lady Studios
in New York.
In New York City.
You are right. You are right.
Hendrix's famous studio.
Yeah, and I think this was the band. It's their most expensive album to date.
Yes, it is.
So them going around this various studios. I think Steve and Martin Birch, and it seems Adrian had more influence here as well. We're trying to spend a bit of time on an album.
Yeah, as opposed to rushing.
Change.
Yeah, rushing it out. Yeah.
You know, as we have said in all our pods up to now about the studio albums, the time or the lack of time spent on the albums, it's just, it's a matter of weeks.
Although
and they sound amazing. It doesn't sound like it's rushed, but it's incredible that they can go in, like for 6 weeks and have a complete, these albums done.
Yeah, the writing time's shorter, apparently.
Writing time's so short.
But the actual production and the mastering took so long.
Yeah, for this.
Yeah, for this one.
They spent more time on the production side of the album than they had in any other previous ones.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a bit more polished, and you can tell reverb on the drums and stuff like that. And
I have to say the drum sound in this is fabulous. I love it. I love 80s music though.
Yeah,
it's as I say, but the recording of the drums, the reverb, especially in the snare, really good.
So there's and this where this album may divide opinions slightly.
You're being very coy.
Yeah.
Has divided opinion. I think, with the purists.
And I think I'll come back to that when I'm giving my mark.
Okay.
I think. Okay, just on that point. So
I'm excited now.
Excited now. Yes.
Oh, sorry. When they were mixing the album in New York,
Yes.
did you read about the Tom Jones incident?
Yes.
Where Martin Birch and Adrian, it was probably Melvin was probably out. Melvin and Marvin. They both had drunk alter egos, a pair of them.
So this is Martin Birch's alter ego.
Yeah. Kung Fu or karate master and overall booze fiend.
After he'd had a few too many daiquiris.
A few too many whatever. But they were in a hotel and Tom Jones was in the hotel and he came up to the room and he was listening to obviously the latest mix of the album. He said it was great.
Yeah.
But could imagine.
Had a bottle of champagne and one a cigar, apparently, Adrian said. Yeah. So
where metal and the established music fraternity collided.
If only they had met him in the studio.
Could have got him on as a singer, got a few backing vocals.
Do a few harmonies.
See a madness.
Would have been class. Anyway, there's the wee Tom Jones anecdotes. Adrian, I suppose, is another notable difference in this album.
Yeah. This is it. This is Adrian does have quite an effect on every at Killers he came in.
Yeah.
Alright, didn't have a writing credit reading, but
for me, Adrian's the most influential guitarist.
Yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely.
In the band.
He's also probably, in my opinion, I'm not going to say it, I think he's a brilliant songwriter.
He is a brilliant songwriter, yeah.
And this shows that he's also a very, very competent lyricist.
Yes, this is what makes this album noticeable or notable. 3 tracks that are completely written by Smith. So he writes the lyrics as well.
Yeah.
Now, I think
by accident or by design.
So he found that Bruce wasn't around.
Yeah.
Is what he's.
Bruce was dealing with his thing, and there was the whole.
Yeah. So rather than him kind of coming up with riffs and usually, throwing a riff at Bruce,
which still happens today.
That kind of Smith Dickinson,
and its
combo is brilliant, and it's, as you say,
and the solo albums too. Bruce's solo albums as well. Then.
Yep. But on this album, Bruce wasn't there, so Adrian decided to kind of write. And not for the first time, because he had his own band Urgent, and he had written songs and obviously melodies, and he's a good singer. So he decided, to write lyrics and contributed 3 cracking songs to this album.
Absolutely.
Wasted Years, Sea of Madness, and Stranger in a Strange Land. Yes. Lyrics and everything. And it's unusual for Harris's name not to be on a song credit.
Yeah.
I can think of Power Slave and Revelations by Bruce being the only songs possibly up to this point that have not included a Steve Harris writing credit. So apart from Smith Dickinson ones. So it was a big thing for Adrian to step up with 3 songs.
Yeah, I don't think he had much choice.
Well, he could have done what Dave Murray does and not really chip in with 3 songs.
Yeah, well, I think Dave has a substantial contribution to this album as well, which we'll talk about later.
Okay, fair enough.
I think this is I just really adore the 3 songs that he writes here.
There's three crackers.
I don't think they would have ever saw the light of day, or maybe one might have, but don't think they'd have seen the light of day in the magnificent way that they are if Dickie had been firing on all 4 cylinders, shall we say, But of course, we need to talk about Bruce.
We will talk about Bruce. So suppose only other quick thing I'd say is that this is the first album that has 3 7-minute or over 7-minute songs up to this point.
Yeah.
So Power Slave had 2 songs that were over 7 minutes, so they're going and they're gradually going in this more kind of progressive experimental direction. And that brings us on to Bruce, because there are no Bruce Dickinson compositions on this album.
Very strange.
Very strange.
Yep.
So, Bruce was burnt out.
Yep.
I think he's on record saying that 4 months wasn't a long enough break.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be kind of longer, etc., and it kind of got shortened. He did think about quitting.
Yep.
But I have a quote from him here. He said, then he thought, well, what would really give me a buzz would be to go off and do another. To go off and do another 12 months tour would be if we had another record that I felt was really, really groundbreaking. You know, like I was thinking, where's our Kashmir? Where's our Stairway to Heaven? So that kind of led me off to Acoustic World, and I wanted to do almost like an unplugged record for the next Iron Maiden album.
Like Led Zeppelin 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except this was years before MTV started doing it. So he wanted to do, as Chris has really succinctly put it there, a Led Zeppelin 3, which is really pretty much an acoustic album. He felt that the band should be leading and not following, all this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. The other thing you have to note about that as well, you know, it's 1986 when this comes out, September 86, isn't that right? You said that you did. Thrash metal.
I was going to mention that.
Oh, were you? Sorry.
That was my... remember I said I was going to come back to something and rate the album?
All right.
With the reverb and the drums and stuff?
Yeah.
But we can mention it now.
You're right. Yeah.
86 is a huge year for metal.
It is indeed. Yeah.
And there are, well...
Just like 1980 was.
Yeah.
You know, 1980, we talked about it in our Iron Maiden episode. But like, you know, 86 is absolutely... you know, it's year zero again.
Yeah, there are three albums that leap to mind.
Yeah,
that kind of change metal.
They do.
And I think it has a bearing on how this album is looked upon by some fans, not all fans, but I think that
and the press certainly,
and possibly has a. Well, I think it has a bearing on their career in America for quite some time.
Yeah.
But we'll maybe come back to that.
We'll talk about that later. Talk about that later.
So Bruce did come up with a load of acoustic songs. Pretty well documented this, and
couldn't find any.
Can't find them.
I'd love to hear them.
Don't know what they are.
Hear what he was.
Don't know what they are.
What he was cooking up.
It's the thing as well. Yeah, I had a hunt. I have heard rumors that one of them is the song that became Tears of the Dragon.
Oh wow! Yeah.
You know, I wonder...
Imagine that with a guitar synth.
Yeah. There's quite I know, man.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
There's, on the kind of Tears of the Dragon's off Bruce's 1994 solo album, Balls to Picasso. And there's quite a lot of acoustic stuff. Not so much on the album, but on some of the B-sides.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is that some of it? And if you get the Bruce Dickinson anthology, or the best of Bruce Dickinson, it's called, I think. There's a lot of kind of unused songs there. Re-entry, one of them's called. This kind of stuff. I wonder if some of that stuff, any of the leftovers.
I felt that myself.
Only Bruce and Martin Birch and the
Steve,
band,
probably,
will really know, or those close to him. If anybody has any evidence,
please share it.
Please share it, because I would love to know.
So I just love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. The other thing is that I think Adrian said that the start of Moonchild was one of the leftovers.
Right.
You know, the little acoustic intro. So, but I certainly couldn't find any evidence of Bruce speaking about, this was a song, or the songs were this or that.
Yeah.
He just never mentions it.
Nothing mentioned.
So it's intriguing. He suggested these songs and they are rejected.
Yeah, and like literally the thing which I found in this story, this part of the story, which was interesting, was the amount of clout that Martin Birch has.
Yeah, that is exactly. Great minds think alike, man. Great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, is that what they brought? Is that why you brought the book?
Yeah. There's a great section in here. Yeah, and it's exactly kind of about that if I can find it. Here,
Oh, I
take me maybe a
couldn't
wee minute just to
wait,
find it.
Wait, can we have, brother? Wait, can we have?
But
I have to say, you know, I did whenever I was doing the research. I find that a bit, you know, a bit of a change, I suppose, in the relationship at the beginning. You know, I think it is on record because he says it in the classic albums, Number of the Beast. I think that the band were scared to ask him to produce the first album because of who he was, and he just wanted to let them. He said, "I would just let them." Go and do their own thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's you know, they thought he was too big. We covered that, and then he comes on board in Killers, and there's still a little bit, you know, if I'd have said anything, you know, they jumped to attention, you know, and it was probably Number of the Beast where, you know, that element of familiarity and comfort started to happen and stuff. But it's not. This isn't Sergeant Major Harris rejecting the songs. Bruce's songs.
It's not. I think a lot of people
think
that Steve would have like an authoritarian role in the band. I wouldn't think so.
I think that's really, really unfair. It's very easy to follow that narrative, and it's definitely out there.
Absolutely.
I think possibly when
he is Maiden, but you know.
Yeah, and I think maybe when Bruce left the band, he kind of maybe pushed that narrative a wee bit. The Sergeant Major Harris thing and all that there, but I don't think that seems to be the case. I think this is
certainly not at this time.
The band, none of them thought that these songs were right.
Well, it's not what they play.
It's not what they play. And
have we heard any acoustic songs since?
No, The Journeyman. That's it.
That's it.
You know, and Martin Birch, as Chris is saying, seems to he has real influence here. I mean, we've got a couple of things. This is from the Run to the Hills book. I just thought there was
the first edition, of course.
First edition, A couple of interesting lines here. Here's Adrian just saying that it was a sad coincidence that I began writing fully formed songs again.
Yeah.
It was just about Bruce not being around. Then you have Martin Birch was actually the one who broke the news to Bruce about the songs. You know, Adrian says here that you know, Bruce can't really complain about them not being picked, but maybe the manner in which he found out, I regret. No one really said anything to him directly. I don't think, and it's saying here that was left to Martin Birch, and Martin Birch says. This is really interesting. I always sensed a slight danger of too much input from Bruce and Adrian. Yeah. Because they were always in danger of kind of taking it away from what Maiden really was. Some of their songs just weren't suitable. Like a Bryan Adams type thing that Adrian came up with, which was called Reach Out. Which was this sort of US stadium rock, which just wasn't what Maiden were about at all. They eventually used it as one of a B-side. But to have let the band put something like that on the album would have taken away from the whole point of Iron Maiden. Neither Steve nor I envisaged the band as anything other than what they were. I think that's a really key sentence there.
I think that's massive.
That's massive. This isn't Martin Birch, the producer, saying Steve wouldn't see the band like that. Neither Steve nor I envisaged the band.
I'd say nor Rod Smallwood.
I would
say.
As anything other.
I would add that in too.
Quite
Not that
possibly.
I'm going to add any words into Mick Wall, like, but you know. I found that extraordinarily interesting.
I did too. That's why I thought I'd bring this book down, because I thought, you know, it kind of really jumped out at me. He says the other songs that Adrian wrote for the album, like Wasted Years, they were great, but even they walked the line a little bit, I felt. As for Bruce's songs, they were all acoustic and they just did not fit. They had to go, not because they were acoustic, but because they just weren't right. But we didn't make a big deal about it. Bruce has written some great songs for Maiden, and we knew we'd write more. But these ones just weren't ... right. So,
That's massive.
That was massive. I thought that was a really, really massive
But that's also done
know?
with hindsight as well.
Yeah.
You know, you have to always, that was what, 1990, whatever. That was
true, this was 98 or whatever,
10
you know.
12, 10 years later, probably, when I was writing it. But
Steve's a bit more blunt.
Yeah.
He says, Bruce came in with a few ideas which didn't really suit. It wasn't because it was acoustic necessarily, or even that it was very different sort of stuff. It was just, we didn't think it was good enough, really. And I could see that he would feel bad that his songs were rejected. But I think he seemed to accept it quite readily at the time, because he realised that he was not on a different planet, but he was sort of edging that way.
If you know what I mean.
He knew himself he was feeling a bit strange, so he just sort of let us get on with it. And lucky enough, Adrian came up with some really strong stuff, and that was that. So, in other words, Bruce lost the plot.
Yeah,
is what Steve is saying, and deep down, Bruce knew it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And Bruce's reaction is, maybe I was a basket case. Is what he thought at the time. Maybe they're right, and I convinced myself just to go with it. And the more I convinced myself I should go with it, I felt like I was just unburdening myself of the responsibility. Yeah,
this is the beginning of the end for him, though. I have to say, but I do think so.
I think it definitely sows a seed of discontent.
Yeah,
but it's something that in a couple of episodes we'll talk about.
Yeah, of course, dead on.
I think it does and it doesn't.
I just think it's a culmination of a whole load of things.
Yeah,
I think. Not being told that your songs aren't good enough, I don't think that's the issue, but I do think he doesn't want what the rest want. Or he doesn't want what Steve wants.
So he shares at this point, I think it's in there, another quote I read was that he felt that the band had the world at their feet at this point.
Yeah.
And they needed to make a physical graffiti or a Led Zeppelin 3 or 4, that type of a thing. And if I was a fan, I would have been disappointed with Somewhere in Time because it was just another Iron Maiden album. And I wanted us to make something both bold and brave and that nobody expected.
Yeah.
To really take the world by storm. And we didn't do that. That was the kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's not verbatim, but that's mostly what he said. So it's a very much a what if. The band's at a juncture here. It's always good to speculate. What if?
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have suited them personally.
No, and
I don't think they'd still be around.
They wouldn't be. And the climate of metal,
it changed.
Just would have blew them.
Yeah.
They'd have been like irrelevant.
You
know,
it could have been commercial suicide, but it's more that it's not what Iron Maiden is built on. It's not what Iron Maiden's about.
They never compromised.
They don't portray their fans.
No, that's it. They never compromised until then, and they haven't compromised since. So yeah, totally. So I think Steve and Martin Birch, etc., got it right. As much as I love Bruce, and I love a lot of the solo work that he did. Yeah, absolutely.
Went on to do Afters. Awesome.
And we'll touch on that in a long time.
Yes, but we will be reviewing those. We absolutely. But so it really has a bearing on this album, which is, I suppose, an album we should probably talk about.
I think so.
Yeah,
we are 33 minutes.
33 minutes setting the context for this album. So, Chris, the track listing.
Let's batten down the hatches. Let's go for it.
Let's get deep diving into Somewhere in Time. So, it kicks off with track number 1, Caught Somewhere in Time.
Yep.
A Steve Harris composition. This, my friend, I believe, is a song that I don't really think of this as an epic, or it didn't before.
No.
But it's over 7 minutes long.
It's definitely an epic.
So it's an epic? So they're opening an album with an epic?
And how it opens, it is a broadside. It is a
great intro.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah. And notable for its massive farty synth.
Yes. Which sounds very heavy.
Yeah,
I actually think.
It does.
And has a kind of Eastern... There's still a hint of the Egyptian about it.
There are wee flutters throughout of that in this.
There is.
When you really deep dive into it, but
definitely on that open phrase of this song.
Yeah. One thing I found out about this, you know, and I have to put some context into this album.
Go for
it. I got this album when I was 8 or 9 years of age.
We'll not tell you how long ago that is.
Yeah, it was in 1989. And it was on a headphone. It was on headphones on a wee crappy Walkman that I got for Christmas, and I got it. I'd already had Number of the Beast and Final and the Trooper single, which you know.
Yes.
Sold for fag money many years ago. But so, and this, whenever I look back on it, the lyrical style of this album is different from every other Maiden album.
Okay. In what sense?
I think the lyrics are very personal.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yes.
And it starts off right from the very beginning.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But as a track, you know, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It is super tight.
Yep. The drums are phenomenal.
Brilliant. Spoonfuls of gallop.
Spoonfuls of gallop.
Yeah.
There's real pace and energy about it. They sound on fire to me.
Yeah, they really do. In this particular track, you could go into loads of detail about it, but there's a few bits in it. Adrian Smith's whammy bar, which we did mention in Live After Death.
It was almost a member of the band. Yeah.
And the solo in this album,
yes,
in this track, sorry, the second movement of the solo.
Yep. So first solo is Dave's, second solo is Adrian's. I love that solo.
It's a joy.
It's funny you should mention that solo because there's that and one other solo out of this album that particularly they're both by Adrian that jump out at me and always kind of have. His solo on this is brilliant.
It's fantastic.
There's picked harmonics as he runs up a scale.
Yeah.
There's picking or
treble picking,
tapping.
A tapping. Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
It just has everything.
We both play the guitar, so if we're getting a bit sort of technical, don't worry.
It's a brilliant solo. So it is.
It is phenomenal. It's nearly like he's got everything in his kit bag fired into one solo.
But what
a solo! And
Cam mutant.
The
whole heap.
It's fantastic. It's a great way to start it.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like a 7-minute song.
No. I think if you were, it should have a lead. You know, Die Hard's Fear straight away.
Yeah,
because it is super.
It is super, and saying it doesn't feel like a 7-minute song, to go full throttle for 7 minutes.
Yeah,
which is what this song does. There's no
They start the tour with this, don't they?
Yeah.
And then they're in the Aces High. Is that right?
No, they're into
2 minutes to
midnight. So watch.
I watched it.
Did you watch it?
I did.
It's amazing concert.
I didn't watch it all in time, but there's some bits in it.
Did you see the guitar solos?
Oh my day!
Yes. We're talking about there's great footage. I will post a link in the comments below of Somewhere in Tour. There is wonderful bootleg footage of an entire concert, and the sound is really, really good.
I think I read
off the soundboard or something.
The matched at the soundboard and took all the, imperfections out of the original audio.
It's as close as you're going to get to like a DVD of this, because unfortunately the band never recorded this.
Why?
Martin Birch decided not to because it was too close. Or Martin Birch, Rod Smallwood decided not to.
Album now after every album.
I know. I know.
Anyway.
And Steve was really annoyed. So he really wanted to do that tour.
This song's cooking. It really is.
It's brilliant live. Like it's a great stage set and everything. But we'll so a great song. Odd lyrics I've written here about this song.
So? Well, there are a few wee bits in it, like the bit that I think the laugh in it.
Yeah.
Eternally. Just let yourself go. See, also I think the lyrical style's different, It's not, I do think it's a bit strange. But I love it.
But you love it, like, I'm saying it's odd. It's quite obvious what you're saying about overall lyrical content.
Yeah.
The themes are, yes, they're personal. It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about being on tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's post-world slavery tour therapy or something like that.
World slavery tour shenanigans.
But like, if you took this as a song itself, what would you say it's about?
It's in my mind,
yeah.
Looking at it as a 9-year-old.
If you look at the lyrics.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't dive too much into the lyrics of this particular track.
Neither did I, but for this, did you? No?
I didn't. Well, you know, I kind of, not really.
Right,
to be
right.
honest with you.
Okay, fair enough. I did. I thought, you know what? I've never really thought about what this song was about.
Yeah.
Because it just gallops and it's about, you know, swirling through time or something like that. But when I looked at the lyrics, I thought they're really odd. Actually, they're very ambiguous.
Yeah.
I know there's like, I think it's maybe about a devil who offers to take you time traveling in exchange for your soul. That's about all I could really kind of extrapolate from it.
Yeah, okay.
I had a look online, and really from that's all anyone seems to.
Yeah.
It's anyone's best guess. I think it's kind of odd. If you actually look at the lyrics, they're a little bit odd, but
I know the lyrics, like, but you know, it didn't really I just sort of thought more that musically, with it being such a departure, you know, and just in this track, like, you know, I think it's class.
But it's a great track. It's a great track. Guitars thumping, brilliant. Next track, classic.
Probably their greatest opening. No, that's not true. I'm just being biased.
Greatest opening?
I love the beginning of this song.
Wasted Years?
Yeah.
It's a class riff.
Love it.
I wouldn't say it's the best opening of a Maiden track. But maybe it is for you.
No,
you
not really.
love it.
I'm just gushing. I'm just gushing. I love the riff. It's so good.
Adrian Smith's composition, obviously.
It's Smith's composition, totally. It's punchy. It's emotional. It's probably their most classic rock song to date.
Yes.
There are more coming, but you know, and it reflects what we were talking about earlier. But it is a fantastic Maiden song.
It's a fantastic song. I think,
and I love the lyrics.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a real strength of it, aside from, you know, it being a classic rock song, is the lyrics. There's real feeling and depth in Adrian's lyrics.
Again, it's personal. It's personal.
It's so well written. You know, it's obviously about being on tour, about missing home. You know,
and about sort of don't wish your life away.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know, a reminder that there's no point looking back. You know, and to enjoy the present. You know, it's great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike, bro.
So it's beautifully written.
Yeah, actually. Another city goes by in the night. Even when I was wee, I was in the car listening to them saying,
you can just visualize.
I'm in the night. I'm driving through Dublin or Belfast or Ballymena or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
I got it in Dublin. As I say, Dublin.
Cool. Aye, and it just puts you in that.
It's just you're there and the orange street lights as you go past.
Yeah.
You're thinking, Adrian Smith's probably sitting on a tour bus with his head against the window, brain coming down. And you know,
scribbling the lyrics down the notepad
on a bag of a beer mat, somebody's underpants, Nickos, and but you know, just the emotion of it, being so fed up.
Yeah, it's the other side of
and realizing you're actually living in the golden years.
Yeah, and not to be so down about it.
Yeah,
really
understand.
Yeah.
Face up, make a stand.
Yeah. It's a great song.
It's class, man.
It's a lovely blend of a negative human emotion, flipping it immediately to a positive human emotion.
Now, there's another thing about how good this song is. I honestly think, and I'll tell you why, because I did do this myself many moons ago. You could record this song in any genre, and it would sound great.
And it would.
You could have an EDM version of this song, and it would be brilliant. In fact, I nearly think that I heard one. I saw it linked on Twitter one time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, wow. You have an 80s synth pop version, or you can be like what I did myself one time, made a rudimentary country version of it with an acoustic guitar.
This is news to me.
Yeah, no,
boys and girls.
It's if you can find it, it's on SoundCloud somewhere.
You are going to have to send that to me.
I never no singing, just but
just the music.
Yeah, just the acoustic. And I thought to myself, it's brilliant. It could literally, you could have an Irish folk version of it.
Any genre. Well, any great song, I suppose, should transcend boundaries. That you could play it in a Irish folk style, or
jazz
K-pop or whatever. You know. And I suppose the chord structure is fairly basic.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like a lot of Steve's melodies can be very busy. This isn't. There's a lot of space. There's room for the melody to breathe.
Yeah.
So I can see how it would be easy to transpose into another genre. Defo. Yeah. Cool.
Fantastic guitar solo.
Oh, fantastic guitar solo.
Whammy bar at the beginning. And that little bit. Class. Just class.
Great guitar solo.
Kit bag's out again.
On a little slight side note, did you see the German TV performance?
Yes, I haven't written in my notes.
So Maiden went on. I don't have the date.
German TV lip sync nightmare. LOL. I've written in my notes.
So they went on the German TV, kind of Top of the Pops type thing,
It's class. You gotta see it.
And they do Wasted Years, but they swap
instruments
and also Bruce has a guitar and
Nico's playing the bass and singing. And Steve playing the drums at the end.
Yeah. The only one who doesn't is Adrian. He's still. Now he's laughing at the rest of them, but he's still chugging out the riffs and the wee licks.
His baby.
Still stand there with the Jackson Stratocaster, is it?
I think it is.
So that was funny. I laughed at that. It looked like they were having a really good time. But yeah, anything else you want to say about Wasted Years?
I just have to say that it's their most pop single. I think
it is their most, and it's something that's said about this album is, does it sound more commercial and all this? Well, this song does.
Yeah, it does. It could be on a It could be on a hits compilation album from 1986.
And I would agree with what Martin Birch says, where he said that even like Wasted Years for him walked the line of what Maiden should do. It's probably as poppy as
they're ever going to be.
You would ever want them to be. Wouldn't want them to go any further than that. I'm glad they never did.
I'm glad too. But it is of its time. I've said that already.
Yeah.
Today, but it's definitely an expansion of what they're capable of. It's expansion of what they're very good at.
Yes. Yes, I think that's
and
that's
that
fair.
goes right to Senjutsu.
Yes.
There are things in it which are more acceptable.
Yeah.
To the wider music community, perhaps.
Yeah, and off that more classic rock, like Writing on the Walls, more of a classic.
That's exactly
rock
what
vibe.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Than the more gallopy stuff or twin lead led stuff that they do. So it's another string to their bow.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that Adrian brings to the band.
So they can step on. They can still be in that, gods of metal, and yet they can be in
classic rock. More of a classic rock.
I do think
territory. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have absolutely no truck with that whatsoever.
No, because I like both.
I think the best bands can do that.
Yeah.
You listen to Neon Nights by Black Sabbath with Dio, which I love that song.
Yeah.
It's exactly sort of the same,
Yep. Well,
it's not exactly the same, but it's the same idea.
Well, it's here. The obvious example is to go for anything off the Black Album.
Yeah.
Metallica and anything that came before it. That's pretty much the shift from being a heavy metal or thrash band to more of a arena rock, classic rock band. So yes, so I think Maiden are showing that slight changing gear.
Flex.
There. Yeah. Sea of Madness.
Urgent opening riff.
It's a great opening riff.
It sounds like they're nearly tumbling into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
an odd one
hectic.
to play, I have to say.
Yeah,
yeah. And it's hectic. This is another Smith composition.
Yeah.
And there's some great guitar lines in this.
This track is the perfect. It is the illegitimate son of the first two. It's got parts of it, and it also has well, I don't want to get into it too much. First thing about it is Steve Harris's bass sounds exactly like, go with me in this, Duff McKagan's bass. In this track, there must be the way they recorded it. If you listen to it, there's definitely Duff McKagan at a very, Steve Harris, of course, has got the most, he has his own bass sound. But whatever way they recorded this, I go, that sounds like Duff McKagan's bass. Right. They had a very clunky bass sound. Right. Don't know whatever way they recorded it. They're both PP basses, But it's by the by, different genre. Different.
You got a ring of.
I heard a bit of Duff in there. Not the way he's playing it, but the way it sounds.
Do you mean those bits in the kind of bass runs in the quieter segments?
No, at the very beginning.
Oh, you mean right at the
right at the beginning. I thought to myself, it's very percussive. Okay, it sounds really cool. It's different though.
Must listen
it's
again.
Different. Yeah, it's different.
Never.
I'll find it and send it. I can't remember what. Well, I've listened to loads of Guns N' Roses too over the years. Like as nearly as long as I was listening to Maiden, but same sort of thing. Not same style, just same sound.
Same tone. Right.
Duff's probably bought that and thought, that's a great place.
It is the year before Appetite, so.
Yeah, he's probably stole a copy of it.
Probably. Probably swiped a copy somewhere.
I think lyrically as well, this is quite down, this track, isn't it? Lyrically.
Can you tell me what this track is about?
No.
Right, because.
Like the eagle and the dove,
fly so high on wings above.
I know it's a
I thought it might have been about
it's kind of like freedom,
right? Okay, yeah.
With obviously those connotations, and they're talking in the verses, quite like life's not just so good. Really, I think.
Is that kind of a vibe?
I'm not too sure, Andy. It's quite ambiguous.
It is an odd one.
Yeah,
lyrics are odd
ambiguous.
As well. I thought maybe it might be about a spirit leaving the body after some kind of an incident or accident. That's what I have. Which if you read the lyrics to the song, they are a bit odd. But that's what I have, especially like there's something about
out in the street somebody's crying, out in the night the fires burn, maybe tonight somebody's crying, reached a point of no return.
Yep, I wondered if that was some kind of an incident or death or something like that. Yeah. And then, it kind of goes on to...
Or contemplating your own life, maybe your own breathing.
Yeah. It's that kind of a vibe, but you get the impression, sea of madness.
Yeah, The sea of madness being life itself.
Yeah.
Flowing
and all that kind of stuff.
And there's not really much you can do about it. But...
So you're into those kind of themes, though, about life, existence.
It's really the hangover from touring. I think
it definitely is. Hard to pin down exactly what that one's about, but yeah,
the drums in this are very good as well.
Staccato, syncopation going on. It's it's I don't know how his foot is doing what it's doing.
Yeah,
incredible drum work by Nico's right foot.
But then,
brilliant.
Then, in my opinion, was the best bit, the bit where it breaks down.
Yeah, the bit where it breaks down.
I love that bit.
I sent you a message with the concert.
Yeah.
The falsetto concert, and the bit where Bruce sings in falsetto. I was
sure it was a woman.
I always thought, what is that, Bruce? Is that someone else?
I literally pulled the tape.
It is.
I pulled the tape out literally as you were coming up.
Yeah,
and I can't read additional lyrics by anybody.
No, well, it on the concert footage, Bruce sings that bit, and so it's him.
Unreal.
unreal. So it's the only time. There's another notable difference.
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson sings in falsetto.
Yeah.
That hasn't
That
happened
never
on any
happened
other Maiden
before or
album.
since.
Nope.
But I love the bit.
And yet it's a class wee bit.
Yeah, and there's a wee key change in there too. So there is coming into another
great bit of lead work.
Another fantastic solo.
Yep. But brilliant solo.
3 tunes, three absolute face melters.
Yeah. The guitar work is brilliant.
Yeah.
There's no denying it.
It's the most 80s thing that part Maiden ever recorded.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's also, it's just striking me here as well. You know, song 1's written by Harris. Song 2's written by Smith. Song 3's written by Smith. Song 4, Heaven Can Wait, was written by Harris. All the songs are written, bar one, are all just written by one person.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so it's very, this is where the introspection's coming from.
Yeah, funny, I was looking through, whatchamacallit, Book of Souls today, and just looking, and they're all
collaborating?
Near enough. There's a couple that aren't.
Yeah.
But they're nearly all, I thought, my God, like they are. It's even more so than
this is the opposite of collaborating,
yeah.
You know, and it's obviously because
they've been away.
They've been away, pretty sick of the sight of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. As you would be if you were on tour for 13 months.
13 months on a bus with the same bunch of blokes. Yeah, so Heaven Can Wait.
Love this. Love the intro.
Yeah.
A real earworm.
Yeah.
Love the way
the little fade up.
Yeah.
And then
I love the way the drums support it as it gets heavier, and then we are tumbling again.
Yes.
We are into real crowd going crazy.
Yep.
We saw this live.
More than once. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Great track.
Really, really good.
Do like this track. And it is an epic.
Because
it is 7 minutes 24.
It is an epic.
Actually, I was a bit surprised to see this song was so long. It maybe could be shorter. Would be my only criticism of it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I couldn't say that about any song on this album, you know, to be honest with you. But anyway, that song in particular, Heaven Can Wait, there are themes in it musically which go to Fear of the Dark, I think.
Okay.
Bits. You have I do think they're not similar, but they kind of are.
Right.
Okay.
In what way?
The way you put me on the bloody spot all the time.
Explain yourself.
No, I definitely think that the guitar in it, although in Heaven Can Wait it's a lot faster, the same sort of notes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And Fear of the Dark, go with me.
I can see where you're going.
The crowd interaction in both of these songs is good too. Different.
Yeah.
Same sort of idea. You know what I mean? I'm not going to turn around and go, see Heaven Can Wait, listen to Fear of the Dark, will sound exactly the same. They won't.
No,
but you're talking about that. That 7 minute type of.
Yes, I see where you're coming from.
Mid length epic.
Yeah. With a couple of different bits.
A couple of different bits. Great crowd interaction. I love that the bit, the Take My Hand bit.
Yes.
It's just, and that's where you would get really everybody.
Yeah. And you've got a whoa.
Down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But
whoa. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, we're written for that.
That's
obviously
a really good observation. I had never linked this song in any way to Fear the Dark, but now that you say it, I can see there are some
I think the
structural similarities musically. Yeah,
musically, I think this is one of the most important albums
of Maiden's career.
Of their career, yeah.
Okay,
I do.
Okay,
but this is a brilliant, great live work. Really, really great guitar lines.
Yeah.
Bruce's vocals. We haven't talked about them yet, really.
No, we haven't.
Again, this is a Harris track, so Bruce is going to be getting a workout. You know what I mean?
You're right. He's getting a workout. There's a
know,
lot of lyrics.
That could be the guitar, or it could be what he's singing.
There's a lot going on. You know, he's bits of teeth and tongue flying everywhere.
Oh man,
there's
a lot everywhere.
A lot going on.
Then,
and yet
not only do you have to do that, you have to go, Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a. he chucks everything at him.
It's kitchen.
Steve.
It is a kitchen sink in this tune.
It's like,
it really
here,
is.
let's see if the bugger can sing this.
Yeah.
Here, Bruce.
And,
and the thing is, he can.
Yeah, of course he can. He can just absolutely nail it, and such a great way to end the first side.
Yes. Yeah, that's the end of the first side, and a strong first side it is.
Very.
I would say it's consistent.
Yeah.
As well.
Now, how many albums can you say now if you flip the tape over in the deck like I did, you flip the LP over? How many albums can you say that the second side is arguably stronger? I could say Senjutsu, definitely. It's more than two sides.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's
a few.
There's a few.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of one we'll be talking about very soon as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yes, a lot of times you have the killer on at the start. Maybe the killer's on at the start.
So this for me is, this part is fantastic. Go on here.
Sorry, can you just say as well? Heaven Can Wait is kind of
a
about
film. Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve.
I don't think it's based on it, though.
It's not based on it.
Yeah,
I looked at this and I thought, there's nothing in that that's about that.
No, there's not.
I think it's more just about it's kind of about a spirit leaving a body as well.
Yeah, I definitely think Ari's had those Doris Stoke moments before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's about someone who dies but refuses to die.
To go to the afterlife.
Refuses to go to the afterlife. And refuses
absolutely.
to go to heaven or hell or limbo, and ends up being returned to earth. Or does he just awake from his dream? That's what it's about. Sorry, I just want to get that.
No, that's right. No, I kind of went off on a not a tangent, but yeah. Like,
second side. Go for it. So the next
track, The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner.
Yes. Another Harris composition, 6.5 minutes.
Yep, and I don't know if he was a reader of the Victor when he was a boy, but this is Alf Tupper. A wee bit, I think. He was a runner. It was a story. Victor was a boy's comic.
Right, okay.
I know because my dad used to buy it whenever I was wee, and
okay.
Yeah, I actually bought it for himself. He bought it for me, but I would read it, you know. So like war stories in it and stuff. And Alf Tupper was like this long distance runner guy.
Right.
And it was cool. I adore the intro to this.
You love this, don't you?
I do. I love it. I do. I love the guitar figure in, the key change in it, and the way the drums come in. They're the produced drums at their most produced that we'll hear on the record.
It's funny you're going to say that. I think you're saying you love the intro to this. This is an intro that possibly is as polished as Maiden
absolutely
have ever or would ever sound. In a certain way. I don't mean that you know other recordings aren't good. I don't mean it that way. I just mean the reverb, and you can tell that it's been produced.
It's of its time.
Yes, and it is of its time. And the guitar tones, you know, there's more it's quite reverby.
Yeah.
And it arguably wouldn't work if it didn't have those kind of lush.
Yeah, that's right.
sounds,
That's a really good point. Never thought about that.
So,
never thought about that. But it's a great song to work out to. So it is. It's very funny, but it's, you know, a song about running's good to run to.
Yes.
But I remember about in fact 10 years ago I ran a part of the marathon. You know, and this was my tune. I thought to myself, like, anytime
you just listened to it.
I nearly listened to it on repeat. I think I actually did listen to it on repeat once I was running the marathon. It was it's a great, you know, what else would you do?
What else do you do?
But but again, we are into it's a Harris track. Bruce is running over the top of himself again.
Yes, there's a lot of syllables in the
lot of diddle you imagine the left arm going mad.
So it's
yeah.
There is a lot going on there.
Yeah.
But the lyrics that is not to be disrespectful to Steve's lyrics.
Absolutely
the lyrics are
not.
great.
The lyrics are fantastic.
So
go out and have a run.
I've got it's about escapism.
Yeah.
Basically a song. There is a novella short story by Alan Salito called The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner.
Uh-huh.
And it is, it's kind of about this kid who's kind of...
the English writer.
Uh-huh.
Aye.
Yeah. Escaping kind of societal woes, escaping society and all this here, and the kid's in, or the protagonist is in prison. And anyways, when he's winning this running race that they've been put into as prisoners, but he throws the race.
Right.
To get one over in the prison guards and show that he's not, you know, it pisses them off that, that he doesn't win the race. Machine. And that's referred to in the lyrics about throwing the race. So it is definitely based on the book, but it's more about the act of running to escape. Yeah. And it's very descriptive about being out and
absolutely,
and I think they're kind of what you were saying about Adrian's lyrics about you know, being in the car or whatever and seeing the city lights going by. This is like that as well. You can picture yourself in a vest, even if you've never been running. You can picture yourself like doing it.
Lyrically, you know, Maiden paint pictures. They painted pictures in the past about, you know,
great storytelling.
Demigods in ancient Egypt and, you know, fictitious battles with the devil in, you know, smoky forests or whatever. This is life.
This is painting a picture about a bloke jogging along a road.
This is painting a picture about a boy sitting on a bus, bored out of his scone. A boy running. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep. It is a more down to earth feel, isn't it?
Yeah, down to earth.
And another thing, down to earth. Yeah. No, I think the lyrics are great. Definitely, and there's depth there because it is about getting away from things and loneliness. Yeah. Obviously. And going long distances. Yeah. Which is on a tour bus.
With Nico snoring in your ear.
Same. Another thing I would say about this song is there's the drum beat. Yeah. Is almost thrashy. Yeah. For me.
Yeah, it is almost thrashy.
Yeah. Yep. Which I'm gonna leave my talk about thrash to when I'm.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Because I was gonna say about the guitar work.
Yeah.
The twin lead in this is fab.
It's brilliant. It's
lots of space.
Yep.
Lots of room.
Yet it's quick.
It's
a quick song.
And I love the guitar solo in this.
Yep.
It is left. It's a curveball of a guitar solo.
It is. I would agree.
So good. The first 4 bars of it are just wow.
What's he doing?
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, and then it goes into more formulaic, what we know. But I'm like,
yeah. And we're on to track 5, by the way, and every guitar solo we have highlighted so far has been Adrian's.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This included.
Yeah, I know.
That's not to say that any of the work of Dave Murray has been in any way shoddy.
No.
But there's something about Adrian's playing on this album that's just, this is definitely his album.
This is his finest hour.
He's all over this.
Yeah. This is his finest hour.
I think so too. He's just really.
And for that, I love it still. You know, it is so good. It really is. It's so different.
It's a different song. This for Maiden. Yeah, it's a different album.
Yeah.
There's definitely a different vibe about it, you know.
You know, we move on to track 6.
We're on to track 6.
Something different.
Yeah.
This is class.
This is class.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
So this might be my favourite track of the album.
I could see why.
So it might, yeah. Probably for Adrian's solo alone.
Yeah.
Or joint favourite track of the album.
Outstanding guitar solo.
Yeah. So Stranger in a Strange Land, it is, I have concluded, not based on the 1961
Robert A. Heinlein novel. Yeah.
It's
not.
I
don't think so.
But it's really more about loneliness of touring and feeling lost and trapped. And, you know, the ice and snow is just
Scandinavia. Head stuck on a bus. No,
it's just loneliness.
Tour. Did they not get stuck in the snow in like Canada?
Could have done.
I think so. They get stuck. I was like,
but I think it's an analogy.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a metaphor for loneliness, ice and snow. Yeah. I don't think it's a literal thing. Okay. I think it's that's the way I was kind of reading it anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I can see that totally, man.
the lyrics are great.
Yeah.
You know, it just has that. Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's telling
tune.
a story, but it's not telling a fantasy story, really. You know.
Yeah, it's not.
It's more of an autobiography.
I agree.
Autobiographical in its
definitely
nature.
biographical. I think.
And the wee bits are like the brave new world, and then set me free. Can't remember.
Yeah, set me free.
Yeah.
Set me free.
You know,
It's about being trapped.
But those wee bits
know?
even are different again. You know,
And not knowing yourself, feeling
alienation.
Lost. Who am I?
Helpless.
This kind of a thing. You know.
Lost in this place, leave no trace.
Yeah, it's just definitely a lot of self-doubt and stuff there, and just probably a young man who's touring the world, and part of this, the big machinery of a band, and just those kind of
maybe yet to put down roots. I don't know anything about his personal life, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it must be difficult to feel grounded when you're living that kind of a life.
Yeah,
definitely. So I think musically it's a great track. It's a cool riff.
Yeah, it's a brilliant riff. So it is. Even the verse structure of it is great too. It's different again, but the bit that I really like in this is actually Steve's bass part in the breakdown section, leading into the fantastic guitar. But I love the bass in this. It's not Duff McKagan this time, absolutely not. No. But you know, it is just so intricate.
There's a real cool pulse off the bass.
There is indeed.
Kind of
even before that part, boom, 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 boom.
It's just a real cool,
it's different
cool vibe about it. And
vibe, love it, vibing.
Yeah. One of the reasons I think I love this song as well, I think this is one of the songs to me that it sounds like Bruce really enjoyed singing.
Yeah.
I think he got this song. I think he, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that his singing isn't great.
No, of course not.
On the rest of the album, it is. But on this song, I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head, but I feel there's a bit more of an emotional register that he's able to hit in this song. In the vocal performance.
He identifies with the lyrical content.
It sounds that way to
I
me.
agree.
To me.
I think so. Very good. Well put.
Really gets this one.
Very well put, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it just works. Just all those elements that we've all mentioned there just all comes together in a great track. And the guitar solo is awesome.
It's proggy.
Yeah.
It could be on Senjutsu.
Yeah, and yet it's a single.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. Both singles for Smith tracks.
Both singles for Smith tracks. Which, again, by the way...
Cover of the single's really cool as well. We'll talk about Eddies.
We'll talk about the Eddies, all in one point. But just what we were saying earlier in the pod about, you know, Steve being, you know, like a sergeant major or whatever. I mean, he's there's more evidence that he's not. You know, the singles aren't his. They're both Adrian's, you know. So, sorry.
Bring milk home.
It was actually battery getting low. So,
we better hurry up.
We'll get a wriggle on. So, next track then. Deja Vu.
Deja Vu.
Deja Vu. So Smiley or Dave Murray has popped up with a co-write here.
I'd love to know how much else he put into it. The lead wee bit at the beginning's him.
Definitely.
You know, it's drenched in its chorus, like the way he loves to play, you know. I would say the most routine track in a very intricate album.
I would agree.
But
yes,
this is one of the most underrated Maiden tracks they recorded.
The shortest track in the album. Yeah,
the shortest track now.
Yeah, 4 minutes 55.
This is one of the most underrated tracks. So this is a brilliant song.
It fits in with the album, this song, thematically, because obviously,
Deja Vu.
You know, it's Deja Vu. You know, we don't need to talk about the lyrical context.
Like I've been here before. Yeah, class.
It's
feel like I've been here before. Oh, I love it.
It's almost funny though. This
it is. You were saying that about Bruce enjoying it. I think he pissed himself laughing at this one.
It's almost funny, but in a cool way, I suppose. There is some
lyrics are class.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun. You know.
Yeah, it is fun.
I don't think, you know, I can't imagine Dave. You know what he's like. Yeah. You know, he's going to write something really deep about
He's kind of
time.
shy and laid back.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he wrote the lyrics. He's wrote the. He's come up with the
I'd
riff.
say Ari wrote them. I know the riff's great. Hectic, clean sound as well. Cleaner sounding track than any of the rest of them, which I thought was interesting. Brilliant vocal performance in this.
Yep.
Effects laden at times. You know, when he's obviously Bruce is playing in this, he's two different characters.
Yep.
You know, but I do think lyrically, I've got the lyrics here. They're so class. They're hilarious. They really are. When you see familiar, you know, again, it's when you see familiar faces, but you don't remember where they're from. Could you be wrong?
It's that wee bit.
I love the questions. I love a song which asks you a question at the beginning. I really do, because you really do.
Got to be sure. All that kind of stuff.
Could be. Could be.
Isn't it strange?
When you've been, yeah. Feels pre-arranged.
Class.
It is. It's great though.
It is great fun. This song. The instrumental section is really cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
There's a great ascending and descending. And then like a kind of power chord bit with a cool bit of drumming. And then it goes into a cool twin lead bit. So,
see, we're singing the album. We've
never done this before.
No, we haven't.
It kind of shows you, like, we kind of started off talking about this song saying it's probably the most, you know, straightforward song, but actually there's quite a few musical passages in there. I think it's maybe just more direct. It's condensed.
That's what I say. It's you know, it's
you know, they just do it for a couple of bars hectic. Rather than you know,
it's a hectic song. It's a great song.
There's a lot of music in there.
Yeah, there is.
In the you know, less than 5 minutes.
Riffs everywhere.
Great song though.
Yeah. It's really, really good. Probably the one we will spend the least time talking about because it's the shortest, and arguably, you know, the lyrical content is hilarious.
But
and, you know,
doesn't need much of a you don't need to peel any layers behind the lyrics of that. It's just it's about deja vu.
I feel I will feel more.
Or Fusha Day, as Dave Murray said in an interview, and the interviewer was like, "What's that?" And he meant Fusha Day. Well, it's not deja vu, it's Fusha Day. I think he might have been a little bit blocked or something.
Inebriated.
Yeah,
it was
quite funny.
Lush twin lead. Deja vu, I like calling it.
Deja vu. And on to the final track of the album then. We will get moving before my battery runs out.
I know. I could talk about this for an hour. Right. Okay. Now, one thing that I love about this band, and it is one of the reasons why they are my favourite band, is they take history and they put it to music. And they paint pictures and they tell you things about music.
Yes.
So for the past 20 odd years, I have said to a lot of people, and they could quote me in this, Maiden are class, because sometimes it's a history lesson in music.
I have been there when he said this.
Many times.
Yes.
And drunk. Most times. But this is the only epic I need.
Really?
Yep.
This is your favourite epic?
It's my favourite epic to date.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The quote, the wind, the drums, the lament of the guitar, which is nearly like a piper leading trips over a battlefield. It's fab. Really good. Lush guitar. Synth comes in. Then an absolutely gorgeous lead guitar comes in. Which is a bit of an Eastern theme throughout this one.
Yes.
Dripping in overdrive. And then a farty synth comes in.
Farty.
Yeah. And then we're into the gallop. The hasn't even sung a word. And you are going, I am in my head as a child, I'm going, this is great.
So you're in ancient Greece.
I'm there, near to the east.
You're there.
Yeah, I'm in Macedonia. So I am. I'm in Macedonia. And then the lyrics could have been cut and pasted out of a textbook.
Yes.
Couldn't they really?
And it is remarkably accurate.
Of course. Well, I don't think it's remarkably accurate. I'd say Harry's done his homework.
He's done his homework. Yes.
You know,
he has.
A history lesson in metal form. Yeah, and of course it tells the story of Alexander the Great.
Yes,
you know,
it shouldn't need us to tell you that.
No,
yes, that is what the lyrical content is about.
And it is one of life's greatest travesties that they never played this live.
So
yet,
yes, yet it may happen. Apparently,
imagine a deep cuts gig. Whoa,
well,
deja vu into this.
Oh, Bruce has
I
said
would be just.
that they may play this, so
I doubt probably.
It may be too much for you.
I don't think I cope.
You can already cope talking about it. So I have a different take on this song.
Okay.
So I like this song. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's Alexander.
How could you not like it?
It is a cool song.
Yeah.
I don't love it as much as you do.
No.
I have to say.
That's fair.
A couple of why would I not love it as much as Chris does? It's Chris's favourite epic.
Yeah.
Is it my favourite epic? No. I don't think it comes close to Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Sign of the Cross.
And Sign of the Cross. Yeah. Which is a big favourite of mine. But this is, we're talking about Somewhere in Time today, so it's come after Power Slave.
Yeah.
And on Power Slave, you've got two epics, the title track and Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah.
Is this song as good as Rime of the Ancient Mariner? No.
I agree with you.
For me, it's not, you know.
I agree with you totally. Rime of the Ancient Mariner is a far better song. I just like this more.
You just like this
more?
Yeah,
it's a history lesson. It's just pure, black and white.
It is. It's just,
I just like this track more than Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
And that's the cool thing about music.
Yeah.
Our own favourites and our own.
You know, I can't obviously I can't disagree with your points. You know what I mean? But
that's and I haven't even written that. The bit a couple of the other things I'm not so keen on. The spoken intro is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And that thing of the wind. But I've always had this feeling that that's how To Tame a Land should have started.
Yes,
that's
I
how
knew you were going to mention
that.
I knew you were going to mention that.
Because that's what they wanted to do.
I knew, and that was my big problem with it.
And I bet you that's exactly how it would have sounded. The voice would have been like that.
Yeah.
And they would have had the wind sample like that.
Okay.
And To Tame a Land. And I just wish that song was called June and it had that wee bit at the start. So there's that, which is no fault of Alexander the Great. But would they have started that song the same way if...
Nah.
Probably not. So there's that.
Then it would never have existed, Andy.
I know. Well, they just would have started it differently.
No, I don't know.
So they wouldn't have... Harry wouldn't have went, I've written this cool song, but I'm not going to start it with a speech bit, so I'm just going to bin it. No. So the other thing is I think... Now, I know you love the lyrics because it's like a history lesson.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
But I think...
And crushed them again. It's a bad love. Oh,
I think
it's so good.
It's in some ways, as much as I enjoy this song, I think...
Don't say it's cheesy.
No, I'm not going to say it's cheesy. I'm going to say I think the lyrics are, in some ways, the clumsiest that Steve has ever written. It's very clunky lyrically, and this really is throwing a challenge to Bruce. Can you sing this? I think it's the biggest challenge, and he just about pulls it off.
What do you mean he just about pulls it off?
Pulls it off.
It's class.
I know it's class, but I don't think anybody else could sing these words.
No.
That's what I mean. I don't think anyone else could sing them. They are... To try and...
Imagine Blaze singing them.
To try and sing these words... is I mean, read some of them out. You know, this is a difficult thing to sing. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
just going to read a couple just for anybody who hasn't listened to this album before.
And if you take
the Scythians fell by the river Jive.
See, you can hardly say it.
You know,
and you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, imagine being
never thought about that in my life.
Lyric sheet and going, right, here you go. These are the lyrics. Here's the rhythm. I want you to sing it like this. I want you to follow this line. imagine what Bruce is thinking, right?
Anyone really wanted the life?
It's a really difficult song to sing. Credit to Bruce that he
my days,
does it
yeah.
off. And that
Love
sounds
it.
like I'm, slagging the song off or slagging Steve's lyrics off. I really enjoy this song. I think it's cool. I do really, really like it. I don't mean to be saying that.
No, you're allowed to have an opinion.
I just don't
Like it as much as
love
me.
it as much as you do. I don't think it's their finest epic. I don't think it's their finest.
I love it.
You know, I think it's a good epic. It's by no means anywhere. It's not their worst. I don't mean it.
Nah,
that way.
of course not.
There are many lesser songs in their catalogue.
Do you think I've just had a night? I've just had a weird thought. I love this, and there's another near 10-minute track
Yes.
which I absolutely adore. You know what I'm talking about? The song that I want played at my funeral,
Oh yes, yes,
Right,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
and a lot of people hate it,
Yes, yes.
which is weird.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
Yes.
Anyway.
We will get talking about it.
Moving on then,
But-
the breakdown in this track, I have to say, the breakdown in this track.
Well, I was
Oh, sorry.
But no.
I'm interrupting you all day.
You're
today.
all right, man. You're all right. The breakdown in this track is the bit I was going to say is
Oh, cool. Thank you.
the positives of the
Oh,
song
it's fab.
are yes, it's a history thing and it does take you back to that place. But Adrian's solo in this breakdown that
Sublime.
you just hummed there,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous. So it is.
Sublime.
When Nico's drumming and he's doing this. I love
It's like
those
Lawrence
bits.
of Arabia or something.
It's awesome. It's
so
awesome.
good.
And then it leads up into the big.
Parsley of
Class.
and
that
then you're
riff.
into.
I love that
How
bit
you
of the
gonna
song.
like it? Oh,
I love
twin
that bit.
leads again.
I really do love that bit now.
I don't, think
a
I don't think we've been as animated in a podcast yet.
no, we possibly haven't. It might be fatigue.
I could be.
Been a busy week
Been a
for
long
both of us.
week. Right, okay.
But man, card full, please press exit.
Bollocks.
We're having a technical thing with some of the audio gear here.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that bit.
It's so good.
It
so good.
really, really is good. Is that your audio thing?
That's it. I need it.
See, we'll get the audio off this. It's all right.
I'll do a record of it.
I can convert it to an MP3.
Aye.
It's all right.
Sweet.
Don't worry.
Bonus.
It's for our audio podcast. You see. So, awesome bit of the song. I love that bit of the song. It is class. That is like, yes.
It's really good, man.
So I do like the song. I do.
The melody lines are great too. The final verse is delivered with venom.
Oh, here, the final
You're
verse
waiting
makes me laugh.
a good 5 minutes. Not a good 5 minutes. A good time anyway.
Yeah.
To get to that final verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening. It's obviously I listen to it quite a bit normally, but I just thought that's great.
Yeah.
It's really
No, it
really
is.
good.
It is a class song.
Yeah.
Please don't think that I'm saying I don't like it. I really do like it.
No. Yeah.
I just prefer Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. And you know, if I was to put a top 5 epics, this wouldn't be in it. It would.
Really.
Yeah. It would.
Right.
It would miss out
Got
on
to
it.
do an episode about that.
We
top
will do an
epics.
episode at some point on
Yeah,
top
yeah,
epics. It wouldn't be in the top 5. It would probably be in the top 10. It
Right,
would-
okay.
But it wouldn't be in the top 5.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and there must be dozens, you know. By
Oh
the way.
yeah. Well, there's at least 25. I would say.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's kind of where I would, if I put you more at ease.
That's fine.
But
I
where-
don't, yeah,
where I see it
I'm,
as a
I'm
track,
playing
you
it
know.
in my head while you're speaking there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just think it's incredible. It's such a great way to end it.
It's actually the song I listened to when I was walking down here
Was
as
it?
well. Yes, I just live up the street from it.
It's
Alexander the Great.
it was it's definitely it's the only way it could end.
Yeah. Oh, it's the way to end the album.
It really is.
And with regards to the themes of the album of time and touring and all, it's back in time. That's
Yeah.
you know, it's a historical figure.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it links in that
Yeah.
way. So yeah, that is cool.
So that's it.
That is it.
Now,
So
there's one thing we have to talk about now.
okay, before we talk about Eddie's.
No,
yeah.
that was the Eddies.
Is it the
It's
Eddies?
the Eddies.
Right.
Has to
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
Now, this is the longest podcast we've done.
I know.
It's
Time has got away from us.
But it's always on my side. Now, the tiniest cover in the world is in this 1986 tape, which I actually can't physically focus on anymore. I was joking with Andy before we hit record.
You nearly picked up the beer mat instead there.
This is my top Eddie.
Obviously, we'll put a JPEG up on the screen.
Yeah. Cyborg, Terminator, Cyberman.
It's brilliant.
Bounty Hunter Eddie. You know, the dead other one's hand.
It's amazing.
And
There's
then
so many Easter eggs in
Before
it.
Easter eggs were even a thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, you've got Batman, Icarus, the pyramids,
Arsenal 3, West Ham 7.
Yep.
The Ancient Mariner Chippy or something in it. Or pub.
Yeah, there's an Ancient Mariner diner or something like that, isn't there?
Yep, there is indeed.
There's something. What's that one?
I can't even read that, bro.
Let's see, there's something over here. So there is
12 ounce.
Oh yeah.
That's what we need.
Herbert Eels. That's a reference to Frank Herbert.
Ah, June. Yeah.
So it is.
The Wab, as I call him.
Yeah. Yep. There's the Rainbow.
Yep.
It's played in.
Yep.
Aces High Bar.
Yep. Aces High Bar.
We got Icarus, didn't we?
Yeah,
it's up
we did.
here. God, there's so many
I
things.
don't know how long.
Acacia Avenue.
How long it took Derek Riggs to do that.
You know, Japanese lettering.
So cool.
There's so many things. Like, you can look it up online yourself. There's just too many.
You can't not look at it. That's the problem.
You can't not look at
You
it.
can't not look at it.
There's
It's
too
really
much
cool.
to go in, and we'll be sat here for
Long
another
Beach Arena.
goodness knows how long to go through it all.
And a whole lot of stuff I can't read.
Yeah. But the artwork is amazing. There's some, you can see sketches.
Life After Death was good.
Life After Death's amazing cover as well.
This is better. But they're both excellent.
Let's face it. From
I think I was drawn that when I was 9.
Power Slave and this album are peak Riggs.
Oh, I peak Riggs.
You know, this is the peak run.
Yeah, this is it.
So
Yeah.
it is,
Even
you know.
the single, well, not so much Wasted Years,
Well,
but I love A Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yeah, Wasted Years is cool, the spacey
Yeah.
kind of cover, but Stranger in a Strange Land is awesome.
Yeah, it's
so it is.
really cool.
It's like Clint Eastwood walking into Mos Eisley in Star Wars. That's kind of the vibe. I read that Derek Riggs actually had had the Enterprise in this and some Star Wars stuff, and the band didn't want that.
Okay.
They were like, no, it's got to be, it's more Blade Runner. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we don't want Star Wars and all
Dystopian
in it.
rather than
Yeah.
More mainstream.
I think there's a TARDIS in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, I think there is. There is. I think
Doctor
maybe
Who?
right by.
So there is. That picture's too small.
There's it there.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. It's
Yeah.
cool. And Halo the Cat's in there somewhere.
Yes.
I cannot remember
I'm
where.
not going to look just now
But
because
there's
I'll be
so-
here for a week.
So many things.
And your battery's going to run out.
Yeah. Stranger in Strangeland is an awesome cover though as well. Just brilliant.
Really good.
There's a cool tour one with a kind of futuristic car
That's
as
right.
well.
Mhm.
As well. So
Yeah.
somewhere in time.
Somewhere in time. I can't believe we've come to the end of this podcast.
So
And, we didn't mention the tour.
no, we didn't mention the tour. We've talked so long. Look, somewhere on tour, there's a great bit of footage. I will post the link. It's not a bit of footage. It's an entire gig. The stage set's awesome. There's
Bruce's
inflatables.
jacket is awesome.
Well, all the lights and all on it.
And-
and his weird half Earl Flynn, half
And the
whatever.
drum riser way up. Yep.
Yep. The talking point from that gig, if you get to watch it, is the guitar solo section.
Yeah.
They're using the guitar synths.
Yeah.
So one of them hits a note, and it sounds like a big synthesizer key, but you can see it's them picking the string, holding the note, while the other one is doing guitar solo, and Dave Murray breaks into "We're Walking in the Air." the Snowman.
He's
song.
He can just pick out wee
Dun,
things.
dun, 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 dun.
What did I hear?
It's like really odd for him to play that.
And I can't remember. Yeah, and there's a bit on Live After Death where he plays "Tie Your Mother Down" by Queen.
Right. I didn't hear that now. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I thought, whoa, hold on.
Cool.
And that time, the unheard when he plays the Star Spangled Banner, brilliant.
Yeah.
On Live After Death. But
so it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that for me it was a wee highlight of the show.
Yeah.
Another thing, the last thing I'll say about the tour was just the
inflatables though.
No, not the inflatables. Just about the music. It's kind of often said, I think, that Maiden didn't really play a lot of this album.
Yeah.
But actually, they played most of the album.
Yeah.
They played the 5 songs.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So they did on that gig. So it's only and
that's
actually they played 6 songs because they did play "Loneliness of a Long Distance Runner" once and then they dropped it. So obviously it didn't work.
Travesty.
It obviously just didn't. They felt it just didn't translate.
And we're still waiting for that first live performance of Alexander the Great.
Yes, it may happen. Bruce has said in his "Where Does This Button Go" tour when he was pressed upon it. I think he may have been in Athens at the time. But yes, he said that it may happen. So we will see. So
imagine it in Empire of the Clouds, man.
Don't. So we're going to rate this album. Who's going? I think I'm going first.
You are going first. I went first last week.
Yep. So, and I think I know what you're going to give this.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so difficult. I'm looking down at paper and I've got nothing written about what I'm scoring it at all. So, how do I rate this album? I really enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
I think it's a strange album because it's after Power Slave, and I think in some ways it's overlooked.
Yeah.
Power Slave, as we said, is an inconsistent album. Bookends. The first 2 and the last 2 songs are amazing.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is inconsistent, shall we say. This album is a more consistent album.
Absolutely.
Than Power Slave. Definitely. It's pretty strong throughout.
Yeah.
The thing I would maybe have about it is, for me, it just doesn't quite hit the songwriting heights of Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Remedy, Ancient Manor of Power Slave. They're all bona fide classic Maiden songs.
Fair enough.
Platinum Maiden songs.
Yeah.
And maybe why this album doesn't quite get the acclaim that Power Slave does is maybe because of that. Maybe just the songs, although really strong and really good, and really consistent throughout across the album, it doesn't quite hit those heights. Maybe Wasted Years and Stranger in a Strange Land, for me, or maybe the 2 songs that would be the singles, and for me, they probably are the best songs of the album. The other thing, and then I'll quickly get it a grade and let you go for it, Chris, is 1986. The album is a bit more polished. It is a bit more reverb in the drums and all this. And when you look at what happened in 1986, so this was released in September. Metallica released Master of Puppets in March of that year. And in September, 2 weeks before Somewhere in Time came out, Megadeth released Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, which is an amazing album, as is Master of Puppets. And in October, Slayer released Rain and Blood. So those 3 albums are 3 classic albums now, but at the time they were new.
It was punk.
It was a new explosion. And basically what they were doing is taking the speed of the metal, the raw kind of metal that Maiden were playing and was captured on Killers, and playing it faster with more aggression, etc. Now, Maiden have polished their sound just as these bands are really getting into their stride. And making these punch in the face albums. Taking guitar playing to a new level. Now it's kind of where I have mixed feelings about that is that some of the guitar playing, in fact, all the guitar playing in this album is amazing.
It's astounding.
And they're really fast. Some of the songs are, are really quick, and the playing is really, really fast.
Yeah, you were saying about Loneliness, the long distance runner, the drums, yeah.
You know, so the guitar playing's mind-boggling in some of this album, yet I don't think it's credited as being, as maybe having that the way maybe Powerslave or Killers is always, you know, oh, the guitar playing's awesome and the sound, you know, and I think it's simply because it's a bit more polished. It doesn't get that kudos. As a listen and as a fan, that doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to say that because I know that it does bother some fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it had an impact on the band's trajectory in the States. I think, I know this album sold about 2 million copies off the bat in America.
It's the biggest seller in the States.
It did really, really well. It did really, really well. But part of me always thinks that an album's sales are because of the previous album.
Yeah, okay.
And it's probably because the World Slavery Tour and all that there. A lot of people, you know, especially in those days.
There's no YouTube, you can't stream it before it comes out.
You had to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
You know, and the opinion of this album is reflected on the sales of the next one. And Maiden's next album doesn't do as well in America. And I think it's a reflection of this. And a lot of metal fans there following Megadeth, Slayer.
Plus,
moved
no
on.
way, it's sort of thing as well too. You can sort of, you can draw that between what happened in the 60s whenever you had bands like the Rolling Stones, the Yardbirds, who were taking American music and making it their own.
Yeah.
The Americans just did exactly the same thing with metal.
It's nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Younger, hungrier bands come along with a younger generation of fans. They've taken things on.
It's more intense, it's more extreme.
Yep. It's just as it evolves. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that in there before grading it. Now,
that's a good point, man.
Yeah. I really enjoy this album. No. Trying to think what I give Powerslave. I can't remember what I give. Maybe an 8.5.
I think we're both.
Was it something around
yeah.
that? So I'm gonna give Somewhere in Time. I've been struggling all week. Am I going to give it a 7.5?
Still not
I'm going to give it an 8.
Still not big a deal. The world's not going to end.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
What?
So it's not that big a deal. And then when I say it, he goes, "What?" Going to give it a 7.5.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is a really strong score. If I give Powerslave 8,
I think you give it 8.5. I think. No, that's fair enough.
Did I give it 8.5?
I think you did. I think you.
Well, then,
don't change it. Don't change it. 7.5 is what you said. That's okay. Don't change it.
Right. Okay.
Don't change it.
Okay.
Because because I went what, isn't it? No. Don't change it.
No. I mean, it's the same as the first album.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's really consistent songwriting throughout and stuff
fair.
as well. You know, it's better than Killers. Yes. Is it better than Number of the Beast? No. Is it better than Peace of Mind? No. Is it better than Powerslave? No. So yes, I'm happy with 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to give this 10.
Yeah.
10.
I knew he was going to do that.
And I'm going to give this 10 for the reasons that you've given 7.5, which is really weird. But then, as we've said before, we like different Maidens.
Yes, we do.
Right?
We do.
We love Maiden.
Yeah.
Bottom line. I love all the albums. And the highest score given till then was Number of the Beast.
Yes.
9.5. Right? So, and it nearly got a 10.
Yeah.
But this album edges it because of what you just said. The consistency of the songwriting, the production, I think, is unparalleled. The guitar playing in it is unparalleled. The fact that Adrian Smith has come to the fore as a songwriting force in the band.
Yes.
The fact that the filler track on it, which is Deja Vu, is probably one of their best on deep cuts. And the fact that the cover is so goddamn cool.
Well, the cover is amazing, yes.
And I do think as an older person looking back on it when I was a kid. All my 10s are nearly kid albums.
Okay.
You know, or not all my 10s, all my high scoring albums are kid albums. But this was the album which made me love Maiden.
Right, okay.
So I got this, and I got an Iron Maiden t-shirt for my 10th birthday.
And that was you?
I had an Iron Maiden t-shirt, 10th birthday, Eddie on a bike. It's from obviously the
Infinite Dreams?
The tour after. Yeah. So I like it because it is a left turn. You know, the songwriting on it is just amazing, and which is completely unlike me in any other part of my life, because it's not just so popular. I like it even more.
You like it, right? You like to be contrary, or
well,
whatever?
not even. Well, when I was contrary when I was 10, you know, that's why I love it. I wasn't contrary when I was 10 because I didn't know anything about me, and I didn't know who Steve Harris was or
anything.
Or anything, you know. You'd have seen them on Top of the Pops, maybe the video or something. Yeah, but no, but I've brought it with me my whole life.
Yes,
I brought Number of the Beast, and you know, this is one. It appeals to me because I love sci-fi as well. There's that whole science fiction aspect to it as well, which I absolutely love. I just think it'll be a long while until it's matched. It will be matched, but it'll be a long while until this is matched. So that's my reasons for giving it a 10.
No, fair enough.
So that's a hard one to work out. It's a combined score of 17.5. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. So is it 8.75?
8.75.
Is that right? 8.75 it is, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's an F Factor score of 8.75 for Somewhere in Time. Now, if you've got through to the end of this podcast, as we just have by the skin of our teeth with technical faults, hitches and messages.
And time playing tricks on us.
And time not always being on our side.
Yes.
As we have found out. You know, thanks for sticking with us, folks.
Thank you very much for sticking with us.
I have really enjoyed this tonight.
I really enjoyed it as well. Now, just sometimes when I put JPEGs and stuff into the footage, sometimes it's very difficult for me to get it rendered for some reason. Now, if for some reason, because this is so long,
and it's really long,
I may just have to upload this directly from my phone. So if there's no JPEGs, forgive me. Forgive us.
We'll not hold it against you.
Don't hold it against us. So, next week we will return.
We will return with 7 deadly sins.
In 7 days' time.
7 ways to win. 7
we will be back
7th son
with the next album, which is 7th Son of a 7th Son. So if you have enjoyed the Ed Factor today, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you so much for staying with us for almost 2 hours.
My God.
Can't believe.
The first one was half an hour.
I know.
The first one was half an hour.
We're turning into Maiden. We can't condense our work anymore.
Oh no. More epics.
More epics. So, thank you so much. Thank you for following us on Twitter.
And we love all the comments, and we love the fact that we're being accepted by everybody out there in the Maiden podcasting community. We really enjoying it for that, guys.
Really enjoying it.
So until next time,
we will see you soon.
Up the irons.
Up the irons. Take it easy. Woohoo!
Woo!